Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Laura. This is the Last Minute Laura channel, and when you come here, you can usually find me making something or doing something crafty. Today, we are going to get started on a new crochet project. As you may have heard, if you're part of my live stream community, there is a baby on the way in my family, so I am getting totally obsessed with making baby clothes. This is one of the projects that I have had on the go for a little while, but I haven't gotten it finished yet, so I thought we could do it together. I'm planning this as a 3-month-old baby sweater. It's going to be a really quick thing to work up because we are using a worsted weight yarn and a 5.5mm crochet hook. So this is something you could get done in a day if you are a power crocheter, and probably just in a couple of sittings if you are average at crochet. So if this sounds like something you'd like to make, keep watching. So, like I mentioned in the beginning, you're going to need a 5.5mm crochet hook and some worsted weight yarn. This is about a number 4 for those of you who work that way. So we're going to start with the body piece. I've already made one so that I can sort of explain what we're going to be doing before we do it. We're going to start with this little ribbed stitch section, just for the bottom. Then we're going to work up in a rectangle. We're going to make some inset arm sections for our sleeves to fit in. And then we're going to do a little bit of neck shaping at the top for the head there. It's a pretty simple shape and it's adjustable. So if you've got a baby who's got a longer torso, you can add some rows in here. If you have a baby who might need a little bit more space for their arms, you can add some rows up here. It's adjustable that way, and it's a pretty simple shape. So let's get started working on that body piece. I'm gonna start with a slip knot, and then I am going to do a chain of 33. 1, 2, 3, 31, 32, 33. Now I'm going to double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then double crochet across that chain. At the end of this row, chain 2 and turn. And hey, if you are new to crochet and the double crochet stitch is still not in your wheelhouse, I am going to link a tutorial for the double crochet stitch so that you can practice that one, get really good at that one, and then come back here to make this sweater. So just check up in the corner of the screen right now, or the link in the description of the video for that double crochet tutorial. I'll be linking all of the tutorials you'll need to be able to complete this project. And here we are at the last stitch of the row. I'm going to just finish my double crochet, and then I will chain 2 and turn the work around. Now we're going to be working that rib stitch for the bottom hemline. For this, we're going to start with a front post double crochet. So for a front post double crochet, we start with a yarn over, and then we insert the hook behind the entire double crochet stitch and complete a double crochet. And the next stitch we're going to do is a back post double crochet. So here's the next stitch. We're going to yarn over and then take that hook behind the work and then pull it back. Do you see what I'm doing here? So I'm going to stick the hook up through the work and then back down into the next stitch. So you can see I've brought that whole double crochet back, and then I'll yarn over again and complete a double crochet, and that's called a back post double crochet. And you can see the front post pulls that double crochet forward, the back post pulls that double crochet back. The next stitch we'll do here is a front post double crochet again, followed by another back post, and we are just going to repeat front post double crochet, back post double crochet, front post double crochet, back post double crochet. We're going to repeat that all the way across, and that is going to create the first row for our rib stitching. Again, if you don't know how to do a front post double crochet and you need a little bit more help, a little more guidance, that is going to be linked in the description and up in the corner of the screen right now. I'm just going to front post double crochet, back post double crochet across now, and when I get to the end of this row, I will chain 2 and turn, and I will meet you back here when I get to that point. All right, here I am at the end of the row. If you started with a chain of 33 like me, you should end up like this. You should end up with one more stitch and then the chain that makes up your first double crochet. I hope that makes sense. So the last stitch of your row, the last posted stitch, like front post double crochet, you should finish with a front post double crochet like this. That way your garment will be symmetrical. And then you need an edge stitch. So we're gonna do a double crochet just into that hole, into the big hole that is left at the end of your row. And that double crochet will make up your edge stitch. See? And now we're gonna chain 2 and turn. And now we're going to do another row of the same type of thing, but we're doing it in the reverse. So last row we started and finished with a front post double crochet. This row we're going to start and finish with a back post double crochet. So you can see the first stitch here, we're going to do a back post into that stitch, back post double crochet. And then the following stitch will be a front post double crochet. And we're going to repeat that across now. And you should finish this row with a back post double crochet, followed by a regular double crochet in the chain 2 space, just like we did for this first row. And I will meet you back here when I get to the end of that row, just to show you how I finished that row off. All right, I'm at the last stitch of the row now. I'm going to just finish with a back post double crochet. And then I am going to do a double crochet into the chain 2 space from the previous row. At the end of this row though, I'm just going to chain 1 and turn. And the reason for that is now we are going to work up the body. So this is all we needed to do for the little ribbed stitch for the edge, because babies are small, so we don't need a huge rib stitch for this one. What we're gonna do at this point is half double crochet across. I am going to be half double crocheting into the large spaces between the double crochet stitches. So not into the top of the stitch up here, rather below all of the stitches. So I'm going to do half double crochets into that space, and that's just going to keep everything nice and snug, and it creates this sort of, I don't know how to describe it. I think it looks kind of more like chainmail because it's much more tight, much more snug of a stitch than just the regular half double crochet. So again, if you don't know how to do a half double crochet, I will link that tutorial in the description and in the iCard at the corner of the screen now. But if you know how to do a half double crochet, I'm going to half double crochet across, and at the end of the row, I'm going to chain 1 and turn. And this next part is actually easy peasy. We're just going to go for rows 4 through 15, so rows 4 all the way up to row number 15, we are going to half double crochet across. Nothing special, nothing fancy. We're just going to do half double crochets in each stitch across. I'm going to be doing it under the entire stitch like I showed you at the beginning there, but you can do a regular half double crochet if you like. And we're going to do that, like I said, until row number 15, and that's when we're going to get into the arm shaping. So I am going to zoom through these half double crochet rows, and I will see you at the end of row number 15. And hey, if you are someone who likes to have written patterns, or if you just like these super fun bullet journal spreads that I make, check out the links in the description of this video. You'll find the link to my Patreon. With every Patreon subscription, you get access to all of my bullet journal spreads, as well as access to the private Discord server. In this Discord server, it's essentially a chat room where you can talk to other people who participate in the live stream and who watch the videos. You can ask questions about the projects you're working on. It's just a really great community full of awesome people, and we'd love to have you. But you also get these fun patterns. So sometimes they're patterns, sometimes it's artwork, sometimes it's just ideas I've got for new projects. If that sounds interesting, definitely check it out. All right, let's get back to the video. All right, I'm just ending row number 15 here. Just coming up to the end. And at the end of row number 15, I'm not going to chain 1. I'm just going to turn the work around. So I'll show you that. Here's my last stitch, and I'm just going to turn the work around. For row number 16, we're going to start by slip stitching into the first 6 stitches. So there's the first 1 and 2 3, 4, 5, and 6. And that is going to bring us over for that arm shaping. And now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to half double crochet across. I am going to half double crochet in that 6th stitch as well, because I want that edge to be straight. And then we're going to half double crochet across, but we're going to leave the last 5 stitches unworked. So the first 5 stitches are unworked and the last 5 stitches. That 6th stitch that we slip stitched at the beginning there, when we did the chain 1, we created a false half double crochet in that first stitch. So first 5 stitches and last 5 stitches remain unworked for this section. All right, so I'm at my last stitch of that row. And now there is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stitches unworked. So now I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and I'm going to half double crochet across to the end of the new row. So you can see the row ends here now. And we're going to just half double crochet across all the way from row 17, which is what we're on right now, row number 17, all the way up to row number 25. So from row 17 to row 25, we're going to do these half double crochets across with this shorter new row. Nothing too crazy there. So I'm just going to zoom through these rows because it's just a rectangle. Again, it's just straight back and forth half double crochet. I'm going to zoom through these rows, and when I get to the end of row number 25, I will meet you back here to show you what we are going to do next to shape the neckline. And hey, if you're new here, don't forget to click the subscribe button. That way you'll know when I come out with new videos, which is every Tuesday. Tuesday, I come out with a new video, and Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I live stream from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. So definitely subscribe to the channel so you can join in on that. And don't forget to like the video as well. It really helps the channel grow, and I would really appreciate if you could click that like button. Okay, and here I am at the end of row number 25 with just some half double crochets. And at the end of this row, I am going to chain 1 and turn, because the next row, what we're going to do for row number 26, we're going to half double crochet in the first 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're just going to half double crochet up to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we're going to chain 1 and turn. At this point, we are working on the neckline shaping. So now for row numbers 27 through 29, we're on row number 27 right now. So we're going to do 27, 28, and 29 with just these 5 stitches half double crocheted across. And at the end of that, we're going to secure off on this side, and then we're going to attach the yarn again at the other side of the neckline that's over here, and we're going to repeat it. So we're going to have 2 little columns of 5 stitches on either side there. So I'm going to just zoom through this side, and then I'll show you how I am going to attach my yarn back to finish the other side. See you then. All right, I've finished that. I don't have my scissors with me, don't judge me. All right, now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. But because crochet makes, it's visible I don't know how to explain this. Okay, so since crochet shows you the direction of the stitches, and what I mean by that is if we were to just attach the yarn at the corner and work backwards from the way we've been going, for example, we've been moving this way. If I just started moving this way, you'd be able to tell a difference. We want to attach the yarn at that 5th stitch so that we can be moving the same direction as the rest of the work. So I'm going to count 5 stitches in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to attach the yarn at that 5th stitch. And then I'm going to do a chain 1, and I'm going to half double crochet into that same stitch. And then I'm going to half double crochet into the next 4 until I make it to the corner. 2, 3, And then I'm going to chain 1 and turn. And I'm going to do the same thing, just half double crochet across as normal now, until we get all the way up till row number 29. And then, guess what? You got to do the whole thing again because we need 2 body pieces for this project. We need one front and one back. So after you finish making those shoulder shapings, go back and make the exact same thing all over again. Now you've done it once, it shouldn't take too long to do it a second time. When you finish that second body piece, come back here and I will meet you back here to show you how we're going to make the sleeve. Before we get started on the sleeve, let's just go over some measurements so that you know how big your little piece should be once you've finished the body. So from the middle of the neckline to the bottom of the hemline, you should be looking at about 7.5, 8 inches, or about 19 to 20 centimeters long. And then from side to side here, you should be looking about 24 centimeters or 9.5 inches across. Just for that arm shaping space here, you're looking about 4 inches, about 11 centimeters. And then this space here, you're looking about 4 centimeters or 1.5 inches. Across the neckline here, the measurement I have is about 7 centimeters or 3 inches, and each one of these little shoulder pieces is about 1.5 inches or 4 centimeters. So I hope that helps in terms of measurement for you. All right, let's get into the sleeves. So for the sleeve, we're going to be starting the same way we did with the body. We're going to be doing a ribbed stitch for the cuff, and then we're going to be doing several rows with some increases, followed by a few rows of straight up. So in the end, the sleeve will have a bit of a taper where it will get a bit longer before being inset into the sweater. So let's get started. Just like with the body piece, we're going to begin with a slip stitch, then chain 26. 1, 2, 3, 25, 26, and then we're going to double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then double crochet across. For this part, we are going to do exactly the same repeat that we did for the body portion, just with a few fewer stitches. So we're going to do this first row of double crochet across, followed by a second row of front post double crochet, back post double crochet, followed by a third row of back post double crochet, front post double crochet. So since it's the exact same instructions that we did for the front body piece, I'm going to sort of zoom through this cuff portion because nothing changes here, just the number of stitches changes. We went from 33 stitches for the body down to 26 stitches for the cuff of the arm for the sleeve. So like I said, I'm going to zoom through this part and I will meet you back when it is time to move into the main portion of the sleeve. And here we go, I'm just at the end of row number 3. Also, I made a mistake. Start with a chain of 25, not a chain of 26 for the sleeve. We're going to want a chain of 25 to begin. So I've finished my front post, back post double crochets, and now it's time to move into the main portion of the sleeve. So we're going to start with a row of half double crochets, same way that we did for the body. So first things first, half double crochet across, and at the end of this row, chain 1 and turn. I'll meet you there. And there we go, I'm going to chain 1 and turn. And now for row number 5, we're going to do 2 half double crochets in the first stitch and 2 half double crochets in the last stitch. Otherwise, we're going to just do regular half double crochet across. So this is an increase row. We're doing 2 half double crochets in the first stitch, 2 half double crochets in the last stitch. Otherwise, half double crochet across. So I'm just going to zoom through this row and I will see you when we get to the end. Okay, I'm at the end of the row now. I'm going to finish row number 5 with 2 half double crochets in that last stitch. And then I'm going to chain 1 and turn. For row numbers 6 and 7, it's just half double crochet across, no increases, nothing special, nothing fancy. So for rows 6 and 7, just half double crochet across. And I will see you when I get to the end of row number 7, and then we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Okay, and there's my last stitch for row number 7. I'm going to chain 1 and turn. You should have 24 stitches across at this point. So now for row number 8, we're going to do another increase row. So I'm going to do 2 half double crochets in the first stitch and 2 half double crochets in the last stitch. Other than that, it's just half double crochet across. At the end of this row, you should end up with 26 stitches. From here, it's going to be another 2 rows after this of just regular half double crochet. So row number 8, we're doing 2 half double crochets in the first stitch and 2 half double crochets in the last stitch. Otherwise, half double crochet across. For row numbers 9 and 10, we're going to do half double crochets across. And then into row number 11, we're going to do one more increase row. So for row number 11, we're going to do 2 half double crochets in the first stitch and 2 half double crochets in the last stitch. Otherwise, half double crochet across. At the end of all of your increases, you should end up with 28 stitches across. So right now we're going to be at 26 stitches, and then with our next increase, that'll bring us up to 28 stitches. So I'm on row number 9 right now, which is just half double crochet across, and then number 10 is just half double crochet across, and then 11 has 2 half double crochets in the first and 2 half double crochets in the last stitch of the row. I'm gonna zoom through the rest of these increases, and I'll meet you when I get to the end of row number 11. See you then. And here I am coming up to the end of row number 11, so I'm going to finish that with 2 double crochets in that last stitch, chain 1 and turn. And now from rows 12 all the way up to 21, it's just half double crochet across. There's no more shaping required. We just have to go from rows 12 to 21, half double crochet across. So I'm going to zoom through that as well because it's just half double crochets, nothing exciting happening from here on out, just half double crochets across. And I'm going to do all the way up to row number 21 this way. And then guess what? You're going to have to do this again too, because you need 2 sleeves for this project, 2 sleeves and 2 body pieces. So once you're finished the first sleeve at the end of row number 21, weave in your ends and start again, make another one. Remember to start with 25 chain stitches to begin with, and then zoom your way through a second sleeve. And once I finish up to row number 21, I am going to show you how we're going to put this little baby sweater all together. I'll meet you over there once I finish my sleeve. And by the way, for anyone keeping track, I have been working for about an hour at this point to make the body piece and the sleeve. So if you really sat down and trucked through it, I do think you could get this thing done in one sitting because you need 2 body pieces and 2 sleeves. I think if you had like a 4-hour block of time, you could probably get this done in one sitting. If you don't have a 4-hour block of time, I think that probably you could get this done in about between 4 and 6 hours, I would think. Unless you're a speed crocheter, and then I have no idea. But for the average crocheter, I think you could get this done in just a couple of sittings. All right, back to the project. All right, last stitch of my sleeve. There we go, and now I'm gonna just get that end weaved in. And now I'm just gonna take a second to weave in these ends, and then guess what? It's time to put this thing together. So to put it together, you're gonna need a yarn needle. Let me go find mine. Thank goodness for Grandma's stash. I couldn't find mine yarn needle anywhere, but luckily in my grandma's knitting needle set there was one. Okay, so let's do a little measurement of the sleeve before we get started on putting this thing together. So across from the widest point, the sleeve is about 9 inches or 23 centimeters, and tall it is about 6.5 inches or 16 centimeters. So that is what you're looking for. Okay, so now that all the ends are woven in, I am going to start with the body pieces. We're going to line the shoulders up for these two guys. You can see my tension was a little different for these two. That's all right, nothing to worry about there. So what we're gonna do is I gave myself a really long tail to work with here. I chained a bunch of stitches when I was finishing my first body piece. And I did that so that I wouldn't have to sew this together with a loose piece of yarn. So you can do that by just leaving a long tail whenever you're finishing a piece for the body. And I'm just gonna take that really long tail and I'm gonna use it to sew the body pieces together at the shoulders here. I'm gonna take my yarn needle, and then to put this shoulder piece together, I am going to do a blanket stitch to connect them. Let me zoom you in so you can see what I'm doing. I've got my threaded needle. I am going to grab the first stitch out of that shoulder seam on the other side. I'm just gonna pull that up together so that we've got them attached. And then I'm going to come back down through the first stitch on the side where the yarn actually came from. And that's just going to attach our two pieces. And now I am going to pick up the second stitch on both sides, stab through the fabric, and then there's a loop left behind here. I'm going to put the needle through that loop and then just draw that tight closed. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with the next stitch. So I'm gonna come down through the top and then up through the bottom like this. And here's that loop. So we're going to hold that loop open and put the needle through it and then draw that nice and tight closed. And then same thing with the next stitch. Stick the needle through that loop. You can single crochet this part together if you'd like. I like the blanket stitch personally for this part. I just think that it looks nice and it's easy. So if you want to do a single crochet, you can definitely single crochet these shoulders together. And there we go. Now the shoulders are connected on this one side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just loop around the edge of the work, and then I'm going to come and weave my end in through all of the stitches that I previously worked. So I'm going to go up and down just through all of those blanket stitches, just so that the end doesn't, pull out over time. And then when I get back to the beginning stitch, I'm going to go through both pieces one more time, just to make sure that this is a really nice snug seam here. And there we go. Then I'll just do a little bit of a knot. And then I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail so that we can cover that with our collar stitch. But there you go. Now you can see the outside is going to be a perfect continuation and the inside just has this little seam, nothing too visible. So now we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side here. All right, and now you can see the shoulders are connected. And so when we eventually flip it over, you'll be able to see that's the baby sweater, and we'll be doing those seams there. So let me move this out of the way. And now we're going to be putting in the sleeves. So the sleeves, again, we're going to do this in the blanket stitch. And we're going to want to lay the sleeves out flat and fit them into that space left by our shaping here. So you can see it fits right in. And then we're going to blanket stitch from this point to the corner, all the way to this corner, and then down. So I'm going to get started on that now. So on the sleeve, I'm going to count down 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to stick my sewing needle in there, and then I'm going to connect that stitch to the corner of the body piece here, because we know there's 5 stitches, and so we make it 5 rows so that they connect. And I am just going to tie a knot, nothing too crazy, just 1 knot. And now I'm going to do the blanket stitch again, but I'm going to go up the rows and up the stitches at the same time. So each row is 1 stitch. So I'm going to do the first stitch Needle goes through that loop and gets pulled nice and tight. Next row and next stitch. Through that loop, gets pulled nice and tight. Let me show you what it looks like close up. Into the next row and the next stitch here. Loop over and pull nice and tight. And I'm just going to be repeating this, like I said, all the way around until I make it to the end of the area where the sleeve sets in. Okay, so at this corner section, I've put one stitch into the fabric on this side and through the sleeve, and now I'm going to stick it into the same stitch again on the sleeve, but then I'm going to be turning direction, so I'm going to stick it into the corner here on that body piece. So there's going to be 2 stitches in one spot on the sleeve, and that's just where we're turning the corner. Now I'm going to just work my way across with this blanket stitch until I get to the other end. So I'm going to zoom through that because it's the same stitch repeat, just a bunch of blanket stitches to connect this sleeve to the body. So I'll see you when that's connected. All right, and we made it all the way around. Just going to make sure those edges are nice and secure. Then I'm going to weave in the end right away so I don't have to do it later. Pull that through and I'll trim the yarn. And now that sleeve is attached, which means when we fold that sweater over, you can see the sweater shape now. Isn't it cute? All right, now we're gonna do it to the other side. And there we go. So now we've got our sleeves on. And now what we're gonna do is put this whole thing together. And to do that, we're going to fold it in half like that. Oh, look how cute it is. Oh my God. Can you believe a little baby's gonna fit in here? How cute is that? It's the first baby in our family, so I'm very excited about it. Okay, so now we've got to do the final assembly things, or close to final. We're gonna have to do a collar still, but what we're gonna do to get started on putting this thing together here, we're going to start by attaching our yarn at the cuff, right at that wrist cuff. I'm gonna pull up a loop, just like this. And then we're going to single crochet to the armpit, both pieces together, and from the armpit to the hip point, to that bottom hem. So let me zoom you in for that. So I've pulled up a loop already. I'm going to just chain one and then pull that tail down. And I'm going to just stick my needle through that first section there and single crochet. And then into the next stitch, single crochet, and I am just going to do, like I said, all the way down until I reach the armpit area. 1 single crochet per row all the way to the armpit, and then we're going to turn it and go all the way down to the bottom hemband. This part is the easy peasy part. We're just single crocheting 2 pieces of fabric together. Gosh, I'm so excited to turn this right side out after we finish putting this part together. It's gonna look like a sweater when we're done. And last stitch there, and then I'll just yarn over and pull that through. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. Look at how cute it is. Okay, and now we're just gonna do the same thing to this side over here. Got it, all right. So now both side seams are all put together. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip this inside out. I haven't disconnected this working yarn from the bottom hem yet, so I'm going to leave that connected and we're going to turn this baby inside out. Oh my God, it's so cute. Aww, baby things are so cute. Look how cute it is. Okay, so now we're going to get started on some of the finishing work for this project. One of which is going to be the bottom hemline. So I didn't disconnect that working yarn because we are going to do a little bit of extra around that bottom hem. For this part, I am going to switch to a 5mm crochet hook. Not a huge shift, but a little bit of a downshift in size. Let me zoom you in. Okay, and my working yarn that I used to put that seam in there, I'm going to chain up 1, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the front post, back post double crochets that we did for the body piece. I'm going to follow those around, a full round of just following whatever we come across. So that first one was a back post, then here we've got a front post. So I'm going to do a front post next. And then I'm going to do a back post, and I'm going to just do this front post, back post all the way around for one round around the bottom hem of this sweater. And that is just going to finish it up a little bit more cleanly with the front post, back post. It's going to join the hem together so that it's nice and cohesive. And after that, I'm going to do one round of single crochets just to create a nice little finish on the edge of this sweater. So I'm going to do one round of front post, back post double crochets, and then one round of single crochets just to finish it off. You can see it just sort of continues that front post, back post. It's covering, it'll cover the seams on the sides of the body, and it will create a really pretty little finish. All right, I finished my round of front post, back post double crochets, and I joined my round, and now I'm just going to finish this bottom hem by just doing some single crochets all the way around, one in each stitch around, and that's just going to sort of create a nice little hem at the bottom, which is cute. And that's what we're going for here. Cute. So I'll see you when I get to the end of that. There we go. Finished my round of single crochets. Oh my god, it's so cute. Okay, now we got to get this neckline up and running, shall we? So let's connect with the let's do the 5.5mm for here. The reason we used the 5mm for that bottom was just to draw it in a little bit so that it is a little bit more snug fitting on the bottom. But now we're going to connect the yarn again at one of the corners of the neckline. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. Just connect at one of the corners by pulling up a loop and then doing a chain 2. 1, oops, and 2. And now go all the way around the neckline. This is how I'm doing it. I'm going to go all around the neckline doing double crochets in every stitch around. So at this point I'm doing it in each row because I'm working down the rows. But I'm going to do a double crochet in each available space all the way around the neckline. We're going to do this double crochet round so that it's setting up a foundation for us for our front post, back post double crochets for the next round. So just one double crochet everywhere you can fit it all the way around. And I'll meet you when we get to the end when we're going to join that round, and then we'll get into those front post, back post double crochets. Okay, I made it around, and now I'm going to join this round with just a slip stitch. Then I'm going to chain 2, 1 and 2. And now I'm going to work my way around the neckline, doing front post double crochet, back post double crochet for 2 rounds. So I'm just going to work all the way around the neckline 2 rounds worth, doing front post double crochet and back post double crochets to create that cute little ribbed neckline. And from there, this is the neckline, so we want it to have a good amount of stretch. I'm not going to finish this round with a round of single crochets because that draws in the neck, remember. So we want to keep this nice and stretchy so it can get over baby's head. So we're going to just do 2 rounds of front post, back post double crochet, and then secure the yarn off for the neckline and weave in the end. And then I will meet you back here when I finish those rounds and I will show you what we're looking like. Okay, we're coming up on the end of the front post, back post double crochet around the neckline. Just got one more stitch there. And then we're gonna join the round with a slip stitch. Then I'm just gonna yarn over one more time, trim my tail and pull that through. And guess what? Look! It's so cute, I can't. I'm seriously so ready to keep making baby clothes now. I hope that you are interested in watching more baby tutorials because this is not gonna stop now until my family member has their baby. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me just weave in these ends and then let's talk about this sweater. Okay. Ends are woven in. I am completely obsessed. This is the cutest thing in the entire world. Baby clothes. Look at how cute this is. I wish I had a baby to show you wearing this sweater now, but unfortunately that baby is still several months away, so I can't show you that just yet. But look at this adorable little sweater. It's so cute. You could add a little bit of embroidery on there if you wanted to. You could iron on one of those iron-on patches. That would be really cute. I think I might do a little bit of embroidery on here. I'm not 100% sure yet. I think I will see what I think after I block it and wash it. But how cute is this? Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, let me tell you the measurements for the final garment. So from the top of the neckline to the bottom of the hip, we are at just about 9 inches, 23 centimeters. And from the edges of the arms from one end to the other, we are at 12, 20. So it looks like 20 inches across, which is, what was that? 50-ish centimeters, 20 inches across. Look at that though. I think this is the cutest. Let me know what you think. Do you love this? Are you gonna try and make it? It's actually super easy. I decided not to do anything to the edges of the wrists because I want them to have lots of room. I did do that neckline with the front post, back post double crochet. We've got the little edge stitching on the bottom hemline. It is, wow, really cute. Look at this. Imagine just putting this away in the drawer. Oh God, hanging it up. It's so cute. Got baby fever. This sweater gave me baby fever. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of this adorable little baby sweater. Again, if you're interested in the written pattern, that is available on my Patreon for all of my patrons. I think I'll also put this one on my Etsy because it just turned out so cute. And the instructions are pretty detailed. They even include measurements for each of the pieces. But let me know what you think. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it because now I have this cute sweater to look at. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to all of my patrons supporting me on Patreon. I really appreciate you guys. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!